Hi, and welcome to Birds with Bottle.
We've got a thing about wine.
And we want you to think about wine too.
This week we're going to look for wines for a hot date. So the first time that you're cooking for him.
Or he's cooking for you.
Or he's cooking for you, absolutely. You've got to get the food right.
You've got to get the atmosphere right.
And the clothes, obviously.
And the wine.
And the wine. So we're trying to choose, we've got one white. We're trying to choose something that's good to start the evening off. And we rather like the idea of having tactile food.
You know, the sort of thing you can pick up with your fingers, talk to each other, maybe feed each other.
But not too much of the sort of
slurping and sucking.
Slurping and sucking, not so much caressing, but just something that's a little bit
breaking
intimate.
The ice.
Yeah. And we found a lovely wine to go with asparagus. Now you would expect to use Sauvignon Blanc, but we found a beautiful Chilean Riesling.
Yeah.
It's made by Costero. It is so fresh and so zingy.
Can you hold that for me, Mel?
Yes, absolutely. It's the most attractive smell, isn't it? It's got the petrol that you expect on Riesling, but it's not in any way like a garage. It's not harsh.
No, it's an attractive smell.
It smells beautiful.
It does, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I don't even need to go any further
I know.
than that. Just,
you want to
yeah, dab it on.
There's a sweetness about it, a ripeness. It's clearly and blatantly Riesling.
There's some lime characters in there.
It's so juicy, it's just...
Maybe a bit of grapefruit.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's a really, really exciting wine for your exciting evening.
So starting it off there. And this one is...
It's $9.49 in Majestic, and it's reduced to $7.49 if you buy 2 bottles, and that's up to the beginning of May. So buy 2 bottles for 2 dates.
And for our next wine, we've got Merlot. It's from South Africa, and it's available from Majestic. It's normally £20 a bottle.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, but if you buy 2, it's $15.99. Now, I know that sounds like quite a lot of money, however...
It is cheap. It is such a good wine. It is, honestly, it really favourably compares with Claret.
It's like you want your partner to be stunning.
It is stunning. Just a delicious, delicious wine.
And this is the 2006 vintage.
Yep. I love the label.
It just looks like a classy wine.
Yay. Right, let's see what it's like. Let's compare the Mealist.
.com.
It is beautiful.
Oh, this is one that cries out for all those sort of noises that just tell you that this is a stunning wow factor wine.
It's almost minty, but blackcurranty. Oh, just delicious. Please go and buy this wine. It is one of the best we've tasted, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's worth every £15.99.
Well, if you went to a restaurant and you spent $15.99, you wouldn't even think about it.
No, you'd spend that on a quite average bottle of house wine in even your local Italian, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And for your hot date night, you're obviously going to put it with some food.
Oh, yeah. You see, it's got a bit of tannin. I'd probably be going for steak, maybe.
Well, I'm sure that would go well. But I've done this with pork ribs done in a really smoky barbecue sauce with chips on the side.
How smart.
But you've got all that, you dip your chips
the sharing
into the sauce,
and the
there's
sauce
all the picking
and
up
the
the food.
licking fingers thing.
Yeah, it's...
you do a Nigella.
Yeah, it's an absolutely perfect date kind of food. As long as you don't mind the mess around your mouth.
Now that is actually important, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It's like the spinach and the tea,
parsley,
the sweet corn.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. And your ribs, and you get bits of bits all of them.
Now I'm quite good at chopping the meat off the ribs and then just dunking the chips. because I've got that down to a fine art.
Do you think, you see, if it's someone that it's really working with, they might reach across and sort of wipe a smudge off your face.
Yeah, so that could be working for you.
Or they could spend the whole evening thinking, what an idiot. How quickly can I get away from this? It's a lustful, delicious, really cracking wine.
And on to our next wine.
Yes, our second red is called The Very Sexy Shiraz. Literally, that is its name, The Very Sexy Shiraz.
Sounds a bit cheesy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it possibly does.
For an early-ish date, could be a bit in your face, could be a bit, do I, don't I? But once you taste it, the wine
is good enough. Yeah, and actually, if you've got a date where it's awkward, a wine with a name like this is awkward, then possibly it's not the right date.
Yeah, you might
need to be able to have a bit of a chuckle.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is available online. A company called allaboutwine.co.uk.
And it's $9.99.
Yeah, $9.99.
Oh, good smell. Fruity and clearly Shiraz. Sort of like bramble jelly or something.
Yeah, it's absolutely delicious on the nose. And again, it's promising a wow factor again, isn't it? And that's what you want for this evening. It's a hot date. You want a hot night with hot wines.
Yay. Oh, spicy, spicy, spicy. Balanced alcohol. Juicy, refreshing. A really long flavour.
Yeah.
Very, very good indeed.
Absolutely delicious. It's made by a company called Kloof.
C-L-O-O-F.
Yeah. The only thing is that this wine comes from Darling in South Africa, which is a region, isn't it, Mel?
Yeah.
So if somebody asks you where it comes from...
And you say, Darling, South Africa.
it may seem a little over-familiar.
Yeah. They might come back and say, sweetie, I meant which shop.
Oh, even more embarrassing.
Just lovely.
It is just lovely.
Bit of coconutty. There's oak in there, isn't there?
Yeah. It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. Okay, so our last wine for our hot date evening is a beautiful sherry. It's the Lustau in the sherry glasses.
And in Mel's lovely sherry glasses.
Christmas present from my kids. It's the Lustau Anyada 1990. And it's strange on two fronts. One is it's a single vintage, which is very, very rare in sherry. And secondly, sherry's usually made dry and then sweetened. And this is fortified during the fermentation, so it retains the sweetness. This is from Waitrose and it's $16.99. It smells woody and slightly caramelly.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? It feels almost like a figgy... kind of raisin.
It's not that sort of. Sometimes sherry can be quite sharp on the nose, but this is very gentle and.
Yeah, you think it's going to be really smooth, don't you?
But it's 20%, so you need to be slightly watching it.
Yeah, which is good to have a sherry glass because it's not as large as a wine glass.
Oh. I know I always make those noises, but this is worthy of sherry porn, isn't it? This is.
Yeah, it is. This is one to have when you've come back after a late supper or the theatre, get out a few cheeses, round the fire.
Nothing too stinky though.
Oh God, absolutely not.
No Reblochon, no stinking bishop.
And in my case, probably no parmesan.
Why?
Because I'd wolf the lot and look like a big pig.
You love parmesan, don't you?
I do. I'm a monster.
Excellent. No, absolutely delicious. Although, if you were out and you said to someone, come back to mine for some vintage dated Oloroso and Manchego, I'm not sure it would have much, certainly not in Stroud, that much appeal.
No. However, it is better than saying, come up and see my etchings.
Yeah, it's one up on that. I'm not certain that I'd get many takers in Stroud.
But you might know they're the right man if they said,
if they did.
Wow, yes please.
Absolutely.
See you next week.
See you next week.